Pretty excited about trying to get this all set up to where we can go live. This is going to be our second season of the flight plan. So last year we did probably 25 episodes of this where we walked through different strategies for real estate agents, and primarily it was for my own personal business. It was set up so that, as I'm working on things for the development of my real estate business, I wanted to be able to share some of this with you. This year, we're going to have a little bit more intentionality with the processes that we're going to kind of go through instead of just sharing some of the things that we're doing. I really want to give you some step-by-step instructions. I've spent the last year really looking towards a significant approach through utilizing ChatGPT and how ChatGPT can be a huge benefit for the business that we're putting together. And ultimately the goal behind all of this stuff is creating the right foundation, the right preparation for real estate agents so that when the opportunity comes up for them to conduct some portion of their business, they've got the right standard operation practices in place. So SOPs are important. Having these in place, utilizing ChatGPT at a really high level is important. And what I found is that it's incredible the way ChatGPT can kind of give you some outlines. And then obviously with anything, you're going to have to work on putting together your own personalization to what ChatGPT is suggesting. So, you know, ultimately the goal is to continue to work hard to create these types of systems and tools. And I feel that by doing these types of things, we are going to continue to elevate our game. We're going to look more professional throughout the process. I know that without checklists, there's things that we can say beyond a shadow of a doubt. Oh, I can remember, I can remember, I can remember. But the biggest problem with all of that stuff is we forget. And at least I know that's something that happens to me. Through the listings that we've had over the last year, I know that 2024 was a difficult year. I did not perform to the level I wanted to perform at. I just felt like there were some things that I was missing. So over the holidays, I really went back and looked at the things that I did really well, in the past, and that was really operating off checklists. So anyway, I spent some time inside ChatGPT, and I'll share this with you guys so that you can kind of see, what kind of question I asked. But anyway. I actually uploaded a PDF file of a previous checklist that I had done in the past with our Texas Rockstar group. And I said, based on this checklist and anything that might be new in today's market, create a listing preparation checklist for me from the entire process from start to finish for listings, including paperwork processing, compliance processing, and marketing and communications back with the seller. And anyway, it came up with this listing checklist for real estate agents, and it all talked about, from the pre-listing preparation all the way through getting the signatures, how we want to market the property, what happens as we're marketing the property through social media, also through open houses, direct messaging to the neighbors and community, back to the agents, and then also how are we marketing these types of things to our database. And I think all these things become extremely important in the process. So we can take this checklist idea. Once we have this idea of the things that are in place and the things that we're going to want to put together, where do we house that information? So at that point, I then went over into Google Sheets because I wanted to create something with checkboxes so that as I'm doing these things, I can quickly verify the things that I'm doing on a per listing basis. Now, if you get to a spot where you've got tons of listings and you can't modify all these different types of things or go in and keep up with all of it, that's actually creates a more important position to have these types of checklists, whether it's you doing it, you're in partnerships with a personal assistant that's doing some of these things for you. But if you have an assistant that's doing it for you, this is the perfect way to verify that things are being done. Because remember, what you expect, you have to inspect. So if you've got somebody doing these things for you, it's important to have these things in place. And I'm sure some of you already do. If you'd like to see some of the things that we're putting together for our checklist, I'd love to share this with you too. I can send you a copy of our I'll call it my Google Sheet. It's a protected sheet, so you would have to download it and make a copy of it, and then you can edit it on your own. But I did want to go through some of these things with you today. Google Sheets has really come up with something that's really kind of interesting. I think that they have done a tremendous job of really working towards the business side of things and creating things that are really unique and cool for the consumer. And what I've found is that they've recently changed up some things where they add these task lists. So when you're creating a new sheet, I created one called the listing process, and it's a series of tasks. It has priority levels, who is responsible for that particular task, the status of the task, when it was started, when it ends, if it's something that is relevant to that. Maybe there's a start date to promoting different things, creating marketing strategies, and you have all of these different types of things. And it also has a link for any type of files. So if you are working with somebody or you would like to keep some of those things in place, the nice thing about that is that all of these become something that's very right in front of you. And what's cool is it takes just a simple click to get the task completed. And if you would really focus on every single detail of the things that you're doing, it's great to be able to share some of these things with a particular seller to say, here's how I keep up with all of the items that are on there. So again, I went to ChatGPT and I asked everything. So it started from the pre-listing preparation. So I carried some of this over along with some of the information I've had with some previous listing checklists that we've had. And I'll be perfectly honest, last year I did not follow the checklist. I mentally felt I could keep up with everything. I knew the whole process. As many as that I've done, it's actually embedded in my brain of the things that I need to do. However, timing was missed. Some things weren't done in the appropriate timelines. Didn't mean they didn't get done. It just means that I didn't follow the schedule and I didn't follow the right path that I like to lead for listings to get them under contract and to ultimately get them sold and create a happy client. So, you can go as detailed as you like. I really wanted to outline all of the things that we're doing, every single detail for that. And truthfully, if you will share some of these things with your seller, and this has got to be something that you've got to really think about. But imagine having this listing checklist so that when you secure the listing with the particular seller, imagine that if you said, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I am going to include you on our checklist, and then you're going to be able to follow all the things that we're doing. You can check in on it. It's an uneditable side of things that from their perspective, because you're sharing a form where you're at, they can't go in and change things, click on things, but they can follow it. And I just think that at the end of the day, when you're looking at different types of drop downs, you can put in links to the things that you've done. That way they're creating an interactive opportunity that I think would be exceptional. You're going to be able to show full transparency to your client all of the great things that you're doing as a listing agent for them. Um, Marketing the property becomes something that is the biggest hurdle for them. Sending feedback. Making sure that there's weekly updates for everything. So anyway, I just want to kind of walk you through some of these things and kind of go through the things that we're doing. And I'm actually going to share my screen with you guys. And all right, so here's the checklist that I've created. I hope that you guys can see this. What I found to be really impressive with all of this, excuse me, is the way that Google Sheets has put these different types of things together. So you can how you do this, you can kind of create this thing, type at drop down. You can actually click over here and it'll insert different types of tables. So if you come click on this and it'll walk you through the different types of tables that you want. There's blank ones, there's ones that are different types of events, project tasks. This is the one that I chose for this. You could put in content tracker if you wanted to also add a second sheet for your social media stuff so that then they can also see the things that you've got completed. Product prioritization. This is probably not anything that you'll do for a listing presentation or for a listing process, but maybe you've got some things that you're doing for daily task reminders that could be really big in here. So anyway, I love these types of things that they're already putting in place. Like I said, I chose project tasks because this was something that I felt was something that I could do and put together. So this is my listing checklist. And this starts everything off from the very, very beginning. When I get a phone call that says, "Hey, I'm interested in listing my property," I would say lead generation is something completely different. But in the process of your lead generation, if you had a checklist for that, that's one thing. But now you through lead generation, you've secured the listing appointment. Now what? So everything from preparing the presentation, researching comps in the CMA. All these things become super important. Bringing a sample box and the listing to leads presentations, which is a product that we use. I want to make sure that I'm bringing these things with me to the listing presentation. So once I get that phone call, prepare the presentation, I've created a not started. I have a started, in progress, and completed tabs. You can edit these pretty easily over here, and you can maybe three, there's two, yes or no, whatever you like. You can add other items if they're in the process, but this is just kind of what I've created. So I've got not started. So let's say I'm working on it. I may have to leave the office for something and I hadn't completed it, but at least I know that I've got the process started. And then once I've got it done, I can have completed. If the owner is me, I can type that, or if it's my assistant. The other thing that's pretty neat is the status of the deal too. So anyway, all these things become super, super important. So you can kind of create all these things and have them in place. If you want them deleted, you can also delete this as well. So I got, getting paperwork signed, adding sellers to contacts if they're not already. I want to make sure that they're in my email campaigns. I want to also confirm that the sellers are correct on the deed. I want to go to the listing appointment. Whoops, this needs to be moved down. There we go. So, the cool thing about this is that this becomes a work in progress. You can always alter these things. You can add different things to it. Hey, I want to add another task that belongs underneath here. But I want to, everything that's in here from creating coming soon. If I go out on the appointment, I want to shoot a couple videos and some photos. I want to add those reels to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, if I'm starting this process, I can, check this box off. I think this is really important. And then I go all the way through it all. I've got, share in our Eagles collaborative group. I want to make sure that all of our team is aware of it. I can share coming soons in other Facebook groups. I mean, you can add that as a task in here. I want to make sure that after I've got the paperwork signed, I immediately order the yard sign. I want to get the lockbox on there. Some people might want to add in, hey, get a key from the homeowner. To me, that's kind of self-explanatory, but whatever you need to do. Um, get the seller fact sheet. This is one of the things that I think is super important is having the seller create a form that has all of the details about the property, everything from mechanicals, when was the last time they were changed out, things about the property that they really love, the things about the neighborhood that they're going to miss. All these things are important in the marketing of the property. Once I have all this signed and I'm going to send initial paperwork into compliance, I'm going to add the listing as a coming soon to MLS. I'm also going to add the listings to leads, which is a marketing process that we have. So after I have 3 or 4 photos from the original meeting, I'm going to actually order our LPT Power Pack so I can make sure I've got all our marketing materials for there. Um, Obviously, write a blog post. I've got coming soon Facebook post, coming soon Instagram, coming soon LinkedIn. This is different than our reels that we've got coming up here. So these are two different types of promotional things. Hey, I'm at a meeting. I'm getting a new listing. Blah blah blah. Those are the things that you can kind of share that you are actually working towards getting another listing coming up in whatever neighborhood. Now that you actually have the listing and it's coming soon into the market. Now you've got even a more detailed coming soon post. So you're really trying to hype up the new listing coming online. These are some things that I'd say I probably did at 60 or 70% last year. Now that we actually go active, I've got uploaded the photos to MLS, the ones that are professional photos. I'm going to add our attachments to MLS, change it to active in the MLS, and this is where the marketing piece really starts to come in. And this is where I feel is the most important to a homeowner is knowing that all these details are being met. So anytime you're doing anything from a marketing of that property, this needs to have something in here so that you can share with them, or even just for personal knowledge that you're getting it done. But inside listings to leads, there's a tremendous marketing list in there. I've verified through that how I want this to show up on our checklist, and then also some of the things that I'm going to do, to promote the property. And all of these things are super important. And I'm actually creating week one market reports to seller, week two market report to seller, week three market report to seller, week four market report to seller. I can have dates added in here for this. I can click on this and then put in the date that that's actually due. So um, now I'm going to come through here and start adding under contract items. So as we go through this, I'll continue to add these types of things. So I think these are really, really important for every agent. I think it's a dynamite way to share some of the things that you're doing back to your home sellers. So ultimately, I think that having these checklists, standard operating procedures for your real estate business is going to be some of the best things that you can do. And building these things out will make 2025 a whole lot better for you. So I'm excited about 2025. Next week's flight plan, I'm going to go through the buyer consultation process. Whatever you need to have, what goes in your folders, what does the conversation look like? We're going to really dive into the follow up to the listing process. And if then you've got your two main ingredients to your business lined up, listing presentation and the listing checklist process. And then the second thing that we're going to go over next week is going to be the buyer consultation, and then the process to buying a property and getting it under contract and getting them closed. So, hope you guys have a great week. This is something that I'm really excited about. Season two of the flight plan. My goal is to do this every Monday at 9 a.m. Last year I started live, didn't go live. I'm just working on a couple of different things as I'm continuing to hone in the things that we're doing at a high level, and I want to continue to share these items with you as well. So anyway, be good, and at the end of the day, let's keep working towards building a better business and having a better flight plan so that we fly higher and fly smarter and fly at a better way where we can make more money in 2025. So have a great day, and look forward to visiting with you guys soon. Bye bye.